Well, it's a short run to the money now as we come to the business end of day one at a very international looking table. But I think the man to watch, you can hardly miss him. He's a big fella. It's Vince Diver, VD 12345. Can the others catch him? He's got a big chip stack. Can he retake his title? It'll be fascinating to find out.
Back to the TV table at PKR Live. Colin Morris here with Dan Grant and World Series of Poker Europe bracelet winner, Scott Shelley. See anything you like here, Scott?
Yeah, we got Ace Jack here in the cutoff for JJ. Standard open.
Almost goes for the string bet, but just about manages to avoid it. Stevie Spring there with the sunglasses on the left. Lots of big talk, not a lot of big play.
Looks like Geppetto shoved here.
Has he ever got any fold equity there, Scotty?
Nah, I don't think so.
He's just spinning the wheel.
Yeah, I don't think even Geppetto looked by the sounds of it. He's not in the worst of shape here.
Well, pretty ropey first card. He's hoping for a 10 ball here, maybe a heart.
That's a great card for him there on the turn.
Someone's doing our job for us at the table.
I was about to say the exact same thing. I think it was JJ.
Well, there we go. It's a brick on the river. Handshakes all around. And we lose the affable Spaniard.
Geppetto from the featured table. Next one just been knocked out. Tell us what happened. It was JJ Bird, I believe.
Yeah, it was him. Yeah, he got a really big stack, so I got like, I don't know, 4.5 blind, so I just moved in blind. He just raised on the button and just all in blind. I got, well, it was really nice hand. I got 7-8 suited and he got ace-jack. He flopped the jack, so it was everything done.
Yeah, but you felt it was time to go all in. You didn't have any other choice.
Yeah, it was, yeah, you know, all in blind.
Yeah. How have you enjoyed being on the featured table?
Yeah, it was really fun. I'm looking forward to watch on the TV.
Yeah, great to get home and have a look, huh? And is there anybody now that you're tipping for the win?
Yeah, well, I will tip for my fellow Spanish player, Jandro. He's really good, and I hope he will win.
Brilliant. And do you think you'll be back next year?
Yeah, of course.
Excellent. Nice talking to you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Well, we lose one player, but gain another. That's Sophia Lovegren, PKR Pro, sitting down at the table.
Yeah, Scotty, you had the pleasure of playing against her in the last few tables of the World Series event that you took down. Any comments on her play?
Very solid and definitely gives, what's the word? I can't think.
You know, we'll all pretend that we heard a word.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Sophia Lovegren.
Fill in the blank.
Well, while Scott tries to think of a word, we'll watch these guys play some poker. Sophia Lovegren, a.k.a. Well Bet. You can see her there with the Jack-7. You can see her there with the sunglasses.
Maybe an aura of not to be messed with.
Yeah,
kind
exactly.
Of solid poker.
Exactly.
Okay. But we know from seeing a few of her hands at the featured table at the Irish Poker Open where she came 29th, she actually does have some moves. She uses that image to perfection. Let's see if she can do it in the next few hands here.
Well, meanwhile, WinXT and LJF Aces in a showdown. ominous looking pot size there for all you millennialists.
Or fans of James 666.
Yes. There's a lot of crossover between those two constituents.
Oh, first one out, flops a set, and the boat. And that's brought a few more outs.
Yeah, really interesting
yeah,
turn.
Exactly. Bricks off.
Yeah, well, that's a beat for Lee with the 9s. He's one of our few Masters champions in the last couple of years. He'll take that with good grace. And there is the good grace. He's always got a smile on his face, Lee. And he's not afraid to get his chips in, but he always seems to get them in pretty good. Keep an eye on him.
Well, a lot of these players seem to have settled down and adjusted to life on the TV table. Black Mamba there in the brown top. We've seen a lot of him.
Well, the guy I like to give a little bit of abuse to is TV Spring. He's got the goods this time, and things do not look good for the first lady of Team Pro, and she moves her chips in the middle.
Yeah, well bet dominated by Steve Spring's ace queen. She's down to just 7,800 though, so not a lot of choices there for her really.
Yeah, it's a good spot to get it in, I think. She's got some fold equity there.
Male poker fans the world over screaming for a king ball. Got a bad feeling. Her image goes a long way, doesn't it? But right at the bottom of her range, the king queen here.
King ball.
Well, there's some hope there. 4 more outs. No, that is about it. And it's a short and not too sweet appearance at the featured table for Sophia.
Well, she showed up at the table very short stacked, obviously, and needed to make a move whenever she could. A few handshakes there.
Tries to slink off into the darkness without a handshake.
So, Sophia, our new PKR Pro, you just moved over to the featured table.
Yeah.
Within a few minutes, you were out. What happened? Was it an unlucky table?
I came here with only 8 big blinds because I had lost a lot on the other table. So I had to go all in, and he called me with a better hand, so it's a kicker. Out. I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, but I think sometimes when the better hand won, it feels a little bit better than if you get a bad beat, get drawn by something awful. But are you glad you came? Are you glad you've had a good time here?
Yeah, it was really fun here, so I'm glad anyway, yeah.
Excellent. And do you think you'll be back next year? Come again?
Yeah, definitely. So fun, so I really want to come back, yeah.
Good. What's next for you? Are you off to Vegas?
No, next year when I'm 21. So,
oh, of course you're not. Sophia's only 20, so she's not actually old enough to go to Vegas yet, are you?
Yeah.
But you'll be out, as you say, next year. Have you got any other games coming up at all this year that you know of yet?
Yeah, UK EPT is my next tournament. Brighton, so it will be really fun.
Brilliant. So we'll be seeing more of you in England.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's been really, really lovely having you. And you're going to enjoy the rest of the weekend. You're going to stick around and get to know everybody.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, time for another hand. Look at Black Mamba there on the small blind with Big Slick. Could there be trouble here for Keefe? Keefe, do you think, Scott?
I'm not too sure how deep he is, but it's looking like he's thinking about it. Is he going to tower them up and slide them in? He is. Definitely some trouble for him now.
Stacks seem to be getting a little polarized now. Some shorties and some big ones at the table, and we're going to be seeing a fair bit of this, I suspect.
Yeah, it's going to take the play away, really. There's going to be a lot of all-ins pre-flop.
8 big blinds, Keith's ace-10, and just a couple of big blinds more than that, ace-king. Someone's going to be crippled here. Well, Keith sees the bad news. He stands up, down to just the 3 outs or some kind of strange miracle.
Not the best flop in the world for him either. Takes away the 10 of spades.
And that's all she wrote for Keith. Keith gets a few handshakes at the table. And it's off to the bar.
Yeah, Keith, Jan from Poitiers in France. Can't repeat his performance last time round. PKR Live IV, he managed to cash 5th place in the bounty, but nothing this time round.
Well, that makes a little bit of room for Vince Dominic Diver. The big man with the red hair. AKA VD12345. See him there with the 9-5.
Yeah, Vince, of course, reigning champion of this event. He's gone deep, and he'll be having a few thoughts already about going back-to-back here, Scott.
Yeah, we're at the business end of the tournament now, so everyone left's got a big shot at this.
Well, and all that folding around sets up an interesting battle here between ace-queen and queen-king.
There was a pretty kind of insta-muck there with the king-queen suited. I guess he was up against an early position raiser.
Yeah, obviously made his decision as the folds were going round.
Yeah, when you get a shove from that early, king-queen can't be in the best of shapes.
Bit of fun at the end of the table. I think those three know each other, especially JJ and Vince. Good friends at the table and off. Interesting to see if those two get involved. I shouldn't think we'll be getting too much out-of-line play from that end of the table. Anyone really stood out for you so far, Scott, who's done something that perhaps no one else is willing to do?
Well, it's Handro. He seems to have been playing a few pots unconventionally and getting the chips.
And he seems like a tough customer.
Yeah. Seems very focused and not letting anything affect him, which is always a good sign. But JJ's chipping up nicely as well. Every time I think it goes to him, his chips seem to have increased slightly.
That's just God mode for you.
So it's grid poker with ace-jack against Augie 1 with ace-king. All in pre-flop.
And we have action flop there. Needs a heart, king or queen.
And it doesn't happen for grid poker. Or sorry, for Augie 1.
There's some emoting going on at the table. If you're just turning on for the first time and have no idea what they're up to, get on PKR and find out.
Do you think we'll see an up yours emote today?
Well, there'll probably be a couple of forward/rudes, but whether they'll be in jest or not, who knows? Right now, these people have been playing for what, like 8 hours now, maybe? I mean, this is right near the end of day one here. Remember, folks, at the end of day one, there will be just 20 remaining. We will burst the bubble at around, what, midnight?
Yeah, midnight going towards 1 o'clock, I'd expect.
Yeah, I think we've got about 3 tables left here, so it's really getting to squeaky bum time. There's a few smiles, but no one will want to have wasted this whole day.
Interesting placement of the iPod there. I'd be a little bit worried about giving something away.
Well, Jandro will imagine that that flop is not too bad for him, really. Certainly a semi-bluffing opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. He's got to see better now that WWNNXXTT has elected to flat call in position with the ace-king.
We like to call him Win XT.
Yeah.
Win XT, okay. That works for me.
Makes our lives a little bit easier.
Yeah, well, it's the Dutchman Win XT, Johanna, against Alejandro Gonzalez, Olajia Fernandez. That's Jandro to you lot.
That's some nice Spanish enunciation there, Dan.
Thank you very much. I actually missed out. He's got five names there. I gave up on the last.
80% ain't bad.
Decision back now on Jandro. It's tricky. But he's shipped it in.
Wow, Scotty, what's your feeling? I kind of like the fact the ace-king didn't just lie down there.
Yeah, I like the raise. Once he's led to the call, it's a good flop that might connect his range there with a call, and he's representing that it has. But Jandro's not having any of it, and he's happy to get it all in.
And you were talking about him earlier. Well, he's got some balls, this dude. There's no mistaking that. Cojones, I think he calls them in his own nation. And, you know, unless he's... Well, there we go. He reaches for the cards, and they're in the muck. Perhaps he will have wished he played that a different way, the ace-king.
Yeah, I think he's regretting the flat now. But I like the flat in position. It's tricky.
Biggest move of this episode so far?
Yeah. I think it's the first time that hasn't been all-in pre-flop.
And he sure does have an aura of determination, that guy.
Well, it's been an exciting year for Spain. Wimbledon champion, World Cup champions.
PKR Live champion, question mark.
Could be.
I looked down at Jandro's best result on PKR. He has finished second in the Masters for a 15 grand cash. 20K, of course, up top for winning this. So, you know, not too far away from his best. He ain't going to be perhaps as fearful of his tournament life as some of the other guys who may be in this kind of tournament for the first time.
No, he looks very comfortable in the live environment, doesn't he? As do most of these players, to be fair. PKR Live, pretty easy way to get into big live poker tournament, wouldn't you say, Scott?
Yeah, you got a wide variety of satellites to choose from, all buy-ins.
And a little bit easier going than maybe the World Series, for example.
Well, yeah, you're going to have so much demand on the World Series seat that you're going through thousands and thousands of players to win a seat.
And just in terms of the attitude at the table and general level of friendliness, you know, over the tournament, maybe I'm just thinking about the intimidation factor, especially for these guys sitting at the TV table.
Yeah, how many pals did you make at the World Series?
Made a couple.
Oh, that's sweet.
I'm sure I was seen as a nice guy.
Scotty makes friends wherever he goes.
You're the nice guy people just don't mind losing pots to, huh? That's metagame, folks. He's not really nice.
Okay, we got open here from the button, ace-9 off. And Oggy 1's elected to call from the small with the king-queen suited.
Jandro, the kind of guy who's always looking for an opportunity. He's not just automatically going to muck here.
You can see the clogs working in that head there. But he's elected to give it up. I think the free bet might have worked that time.
Well, 13 grand in this pot. Ooh, a little something for everyone there.
Bottom two for the king-queen there. And top pair of a backdoor flush draw for the ace-9.
Interesting spot for the king-queen, though. Wow, they go check, check, and the ace-9 develops the nut flush draw.
I like the check behind from the ace-9, controlling the pot size.
And Augie 1 having a big old think here.
Yeah, having not let out the flop, I guess he was going for the check raise, perhaps, on the flop.
Yeah, one would imagine there was going to be a check raise there.
Time to pull the trigger now. This board is starting to get ugly.
Yeah, there's a lot of river cards he does not want to see.
10 into 13, and it's a quick and easy call for the ace-9. Wow. And a pretty innocuous-looking river, actually, on the end. Yes. Augie 1's not going to figure that he's hit that.
No, not at all. It looks like a rather safe card.
And the question is, value town or not for the king-queen?
Don't think I'm betting out here with the king-queen. He's going to face a really, really tough decision if he gets jammed on. And
maybe there's the possibility that if you check, you induce a bet from a worse hand than yours?
Exactly, yeah.
Well, he's gone for 15. I mean, it's almost a blocker, isn't it?
I don't think it's going to work as a blocker because he hasn't got much behind on the button here. Yeah, and he's pulled the trigger.
You're right about that, Scott. And
he's going to have to make the call with the king-queen here, I'm sure. There's going to be a few thousand more by the looks of it.
Showdown, please. Shows king-queen. Aces and nines.
And Augie 1 looks to the heavens for relief.
I mean, it seemed almost like they didn't really have enough effective chips behind for that hand to play out any other way. I mean, they could have got it in on the flop. You know, they could have got it in on the turn. There really wasn't much left on the end. There was no way there for the king-queen, really, unless he 3-bet and took it down pre-flop. Was there any way he was going to take that down?
It's tough to say, really. I mean, he could have jammed the turn. The guy might have passed his top pair of a flush draw, but it's tricky.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. That's what's going through Augie's mind. Your favorite player waking up here with pocket jacks, Dan.
Go on, Steve. Muckney's wait for a better spot.
I'm sure he's going to look to raise and isolate the limper here instead, but he could muck. It is an option available to him.
We've heard that Steve's a pretty decent player. Let's hope he just gets some chips together and can really show us something. This may be the beginning. Well, he's kind of isolated Black Mamba's early position limp, and this is a perfect spot.
In position with a dominating hand, yeah, he can't ask for more, really.
Black Mamba, from what we've seen so far, is not afraid to see a flop here.
No, he's a solid player, but he's willing to speculate here and there. And it looks like it's going to work out for him.
Oof, big time.
Oh, wow, that is that is
pretty sick.
I mean, Scott, is it easier for Steve Spring to lose less chips if it comes king blank blank as opposed to king blank king?
It's tricky. I mean, you favour the jacks here now with 2 kings, but it's a good pot. A good situation to pot control and just keep it small.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happened. Black Mamba checks to the razor, gets no action, and leads the turn.
Steve's going to find it very hard not to pay him off here, I think.
You just hope not to have to be asked for too much on the river.
Yeah.
Relatively modest size bet on the turn. Pot's now 23k. Question is, and I think now Steve's hand is pretty face up. Black Mamba's going to know he's got some sort of middling pair.
Yeah, he's played it the way he would have played a middle pair, but I think it's the best way to play in this situation. It's just really unfortunate that the flops come out with 2 kings.
Pot bet's probably not going to get a customer here, I would imagine. It's just too big and too obvious, but he goes for a similar size bet as on the turn, 5 grand. Steve can't pass there.
Nah.
Yeah, just went for value there on the river, didn't he?
Exactly. I think he was sure he was getting paid off for 5k.
Yeah, and you know, Steve may be a little grumpy there, and we're going to We're going to hear a bit of grumbling, and yeah, he doesn't look too happy, but of course, Scott, he did nothing wrong in that
No,
hand.
not at all. Not in my opinion, anyway.
Well, it could be a bit of a reversal of fortune here for Black Mamba. He's got ace-king grid poker with pocket kings.
Grid poker, the man who wishes you called him G-Kid Poker.
Apologies to G-Kid Poker. My dyslexia kicking in early this afternoon.
Wow, well, he's from London. He's 25 years old, and his name is Gonzaga Desanlis. So we'll stick with G-Kid Poker. See if he can get it in here.
Well, this is going to be interesting now. The re-raise from Black Mamba puts the action back on G-Kid Poker.
Online, this would be a straightforward case of let's get it all in, but here, they've been here for 8-9 hours now.
Has he min-raised it back now to Black Mamba? It's a tricky spot.
Yeah, and of course, G-Kid's not exactly got the profile of someone who's going to do this with less than the absolute goods. And Black Mamba knows this.
Yeah, I think every time there's been a showdown for G-Kid Poker, he has the goods.
Oh, I thought he was just reaching there.
Yeah, big reach, it looked like.
It does look like he's going to get involved, but perhaps he's just counting them out here, figuring out, well, what's my liability here?
Yeah, he's taking his time, which is good, working out stack sizes.
And look, the guys at the end of the table, the two lads at the end of the table, intensely interested in this. They can figure when a big pot's going to go down. This could change the table dynamic significantly.
Black Mamba's asked for a count from his opponent.
That's what a stack of chips looks like.
Yeah. Must be about 40k in that stack.
The options for Black Mamba here, Scott, is it shove or fold?
It's tricky.
I mean,
it really is. The min raise is what makes it tricky for me.
At this stage, calling after all of this procrastination is going to be a strange play, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd put calling out of my options. It's either a fold or a shove here for me. Depending on how you feel the player's playing, history. May have a lot of history online.
Yeah, I mean, in isolation, Ace-King always looks pretty good if you can be the person to get your chips in last.
Yeah.
But we can see here Black Mamba just not happy.
Seems to smell a rat.
Yep. A little prayer to the poker gods there for some clarity.
Well, and he's been an absolute rock this tournament, has Black Mamba. He's been in lots of hands, but he's always had great cards when he does it. Shows off the ace-king as he folds.
And he's going to feel really good now when he sees the two kings.
A comment on the show of the two kings?
I wouldn't have shown. Let him sweat a bit. I might have shown one just to be a bit tricky.
Well, and is Black Mamba given something away there as well, showing he's willing to put down a hand like ace-king?
Exactly. I'm sure a few of the players have picked that up.
That said, it's going to take some stones to kind of like four-bet him in the hope he's going to lay down something like ace-king from now on. I'm not sure any of the guys at this table are going to be thinking in that way. Maybe Chandro. Maybe. The only guy. But then, of course, if Chandro did it, you'd be snapping him off with the ace-king.
Not necessarily, because you've got to remember, he hasn't had many showdowns. We can see the cards.
Okay. There's a Greek wedding going on just around the corner. Yeah, he's got to feel happy about that. A real confidence boost for Black Mamba. Could have gone broke there. Or he could have spiked an ace and be the chip leader in this tournament. We'll never know.
A little bit more woulda, shoulda, coulda there. I think it was a great fold.
Went with his gut feeling and he was right.
I guess when he showed the ace-king, he figures there's absolutely no way the guy's got less than, like, I mean, he's going to have queens most of the time, or kings, or aces, or ace king. So he's not going to look silly. He's not going to flip over ace king, and the guy's going to be like, ace queen. That's not going to happen.
Well, we've got a similar set of circumstances this hand. Now it's G-Kid Poker's turn to hold ace king. Benji 1985 with the Cowboys. Let's see if it plays out the same.
Early raise here from G-Kid with the ace king off. And the shoves come from Benji in the button and it's 2 red kings.
Yeah, he's on the rough end this time, G-Kid.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to make the call here as well.
Yeah, and of course in this spot, actually, the button doesn't have to have a hand as strong as kings.
No, not at all.
I mean, you can be in half decent shape with the ace king an amount of the time here, but yeah, 13 more. I mean, in the grand scheme, that's like 10 bets. So.
Yep.
And they flip them over, and well, he doesn't mind it too much. He's got a sense of humour, G-Kid.
Yeah, a few giggles around the table about
well,
that.
I think you can smile about it when it's not for your tournament life.
Exactly. I'm sure he'd be a bit less amused should he be on the line.
That's right. And 3 outs for G-Kid to put a pretty nasty beat.
Could have had a little deuce-deuce.
Yeah. Well, no beat. And these are all in pre-flop confrontations, generally speaking, going the way of the right hand.
Yep.
I'm clamouring for a bit of injustice here. Is that sick of me? Am I allowed?
That is a little sick.
Yeah, but it's live poker. Now I get to see people explode out of their chair and headphones off, and the bleep machine's got to come out.
Benji's found the ace king now.
Yeah, it's all about kings and ace king, and they are going around the table, and here it is. Oh, Steve's not going to be too happy. He's down to under 8 bigs now.
And he's all in with his queen king.
Okay, we have an all in now.
Well, he knows he's not going to be too far ahead, and he sees that he's quite far behind.
Yeah, he's already calling for the spades.
Edit this part out.
No such luck. No such luck, Steve. Well, he's got part of his...
Ten of spades.
There we go. Part of what he asked for is there.
Actually, screw it. Queen.
Oh, he's done it now. The poker gods won't like that. There we go. An absolute brick on the turn.
Beanie, how do you bink on the river? Just it's gonna come.
He looks to the reigning champ for some help, but no. And we lose another player. Steve Spring. No joy this time round.
Yeah, he did really all he could there. 2 suited Broadway cards and he gets it in. Unfortunately, down to 3 outs.
Steve, sorry to see you exit. Tell me the story.
Well, the main hand that crippled me was a guy in trap 5 on the feature table, limped in early position. I already popped it with jacks, and he flat called. And the flop came king, rag, check. It was all rags. I called down 2 streets, and he woke up with king, jack. I really didn't think there was many kings in his limp calling range in early position, but what can you do? It put me down short. Then I got it in with a guy raised. I was down to about 4 big blinds, shipped it with king, queen suited. He had ace, king, and no bink for me. Only VD runs that good.
Yeah, VD does run pretty good, and I mean, how's he playing at the moment? Does he have the chance of winning back-to-backs?
I think he does. I mean, the table's playing pretty well. It's pretty tight. So if he just plays his game, I think he's got a very good chance of making it. He's very chipped up at the moment. I think he's got a good chance of making it through.
To be honest, I'm not surprised you're out, because you're kind of in the seat of death there with JJ and VD, you know, left and right. It's not good.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think they were more upset when I came and sat in the middle of them. I think they were hoping to be able to nip their way to the final. And knew when I sat down it was going to be able to bring the action more to the table. But I can't really complain. It's my fault. I think I got into a bit of a levelling war with myself, really. But what can you do? There's always a shootout tomorrow.
Yeah. Good man. Good to see you again, okay?
Yeah, cheers. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, well, Steve's got it right. People who don't cash in this get another chance tomorrow in the $200 shootout. We like to offer something a little funky and new on the Sunday of PKR Live. Last time it was a bounty. This time a shootout, which you don't get too often live, Scott.
No, I've actually never played a live shootout, and they're always good fun.
Well, look who we've welcomed to the table. In place of Steve Spring, we have Donnie Jack Marler. You are going to love this guy.
And he's straight in there.
He is just bursting, full of charisma. He's got loads of game. We'll talk about his results on PKR in a while. Great guy.
Well, he's picked up a customer.
Well, the flop 9, king 7. Doesn't look like much of an action flop.
Yeah, no hole cards available for view this hand, so we're guessing along with the rest of the players.
Yeah, this is a sweat with the players' hand. Scotty, what's your feeling on Donnie here? Is he light? Is he not?
It's hard to say at the moment. He just made a C bet.
Wow.
All in on a call.
Wow, this is action.
And they're on their backs.
Well, Donnie's got it. He's got the king 9. He's in pretty good shape against the king queen. He has the demeanor of a guy who's behind, but all he's thinking is hold one time. I was going to do it in an Italian accent, but you wouldn't like that.
I like that he's offering to run it twice now.
Bit of extra tension from the dealer, but no help on the turn of the river for king queen.
Just figuring out if there's an elimination or not. Well, king 9 is just the beginnings of what we're going to see of Donnie's range here. Jackson Genovese from Italy.
It's quite a decent flop for the king 9. Top 2, pretty dry board.
Must be nice.
Yeah. What a life.
And then brick as well.
Yep.
And the realization that he has just doubled up. Life is good. The collar comes up. And you get the impression Donnie's in business now.
Well, he needs a bit of help from the dealer to organize all those new chips he's got in front of him. As mentioned before, he's just the man to do something special with them.
Yeah, Donnie, 5th in the all-time money list on PKR, just under 150 grand in tournament winnings. Biggest win, 9K. And he's no stranger to PKR Live either. Took part in PKR Live 3, but no dice there. Finished 15th in the PKR Live 1 bounty for a small cash, but he'll be thinking this is his time.
I remember that bounty. I was first out.
You had better things to do, Colin.
Exactly, I was busy. More than happy to give away what I believe was a chip set, I think was on our heads that year.
Quite right.
I think Tigger got mine that year.
Forum Queen.
Well, ace jack, ace king, pocket tens all out there.
No problem. Your BDI.
Players having a bit of a laugh at the table, keeping things light.
The only one not keeping things light is this man. And he's got a pretty good hand this time. He looks to his left and sees what he certainly didn't want to. Lee jams with the ace-king, and when it comes back round to Jandro, it's going to be a question of how much.
Well, that lets Mr. Mod off slightly, holding ace-jack there. Any chance he'll make the call, Scotty?
I hope not. With this sort of action in front of him, he's got to be straight into the muck, I would imagine.
Dealer gets the count, and all the while, Jandro is pondering his decision.
Yeah, the clogs are working again.
Mr. Mod's got his finger out. He's having a little think here. Scratch of the head as if it's a tough one.
I'm not sure what sort of shape he's hoping to be in here.
Folks, if you can see the look on Scott's face. Hard this decision is not.
He's taken up a bit more TV time than expected, I think.
Oh, that's cheeky.
He's now asking for opinion on the action from JJ, who's declined to answer.
One hand per player.
I don't need it, he stated as he mucked the cards. I like it.
So it's back on Jandro. As he looks over to LJF Ace's face for a bit of clues.
Well, it sounds like 33,800 total. That's on the top of Jandro's opening raise of about 8.
I think he's going to let to a call here. He's still going to have chips behind.
What chance you can get your opponent flipping over 9s, 8s, 7s? Is there any real chance of that?
Yeah, there's definitely a chance. I mean, Lee shoved with the 9s from under the gun open before, which I'm sure is going through Jandro's mind now. And he's made the call, as I say that.
Yeah, he's made the call. Neither of them going to be that pleased.
Nah, not at all, really.
I mean, both of them would consider themselves decent enough players to not have to race for their tournament life. The others at the table, big smiles. They love the action. From their point of view, I wouldn't really imagine they'd want either of these two guys with massive chips.
Well, and there's Mod's jack.
And the clubs.
And the clubs, yeah.
And the clubs. Look at him.
Head in hand.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing in poker.
There's a king.
Now some outs. Some outs for the 10s. Well, just to rub it in, that is not one of them.
It's not great hitting a set when it gives your opponent a nut straight. Lee's going to double up.
Well, Jandro choosing to make the call with pocket 10s on the shove. Does he have something to think about now?
He's going to be short stat now, or shortish. he's going to be looking to try and make some ground back up quickly.
Did he have any sort of reasonable expectation of being ahead when he made that call, do you think?
Not a great deal. It's always a small chance, though.
It's VD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How you doing, fella?
Yeah, really good, really good.
Good to see you again, and good to see you on our feature table.
Yeah. Glad to be here and doing well, so hopefully get back in the money and final table again.
I mean, this will be one hell of a story if you can make it back to back.
Yeah, I'm feeling good at the moment. Just need some cards. I've just been a bit card dead, so knitting my way, but got a decent enough stack, so just one double up and I'm back in. So
I was talking to Steve Spring about you, and he said, "God damn, you're a nit." Is this true?
yeah, it really is. Just playing 20 hands every 10 hours is good enough for me. As long as I make maximum value out of the hands I play, it's good enough. So
Yeah, exactly. You went to that feature table not that chipped up. How are you looking at the moment?
about the same actually. I've got about 39,000. So with the blinds at 1 and 2,000, I need some hands now and just double up one time and get to about 70, 80,000. I'll be happy.
Yeah. What do you make of the other guys on the table? Any good?
Yeah, got a good, quite a good few players. JJ Bird, good friend of mine. He's pretty stacked up at the moment, so he's running well. So he's got to be a little bit dangerous. But apart from that, yeah, I'm feeling good about it. Yeah.
You don't need the money anymore, though, having won 20 grand last time. But if you did win it, I mean, that would be classic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, back-to-back is the dream. So first one was good. Let's make it two.
Yeah.
First person to do it.
Cool, man. Best of luck to you, Vince.
Thank you.
Cheers, man. Good man.
Well, G-Kid Pokers had kings, couldn't get his customer with ace-king to put it in. Then he doubled up an opponent when his ace-king wasn't good enough. Now he's got aces. It's been a roller coaster ride.
Well, and he's got Donnie raising into him as well. That'll make him happy.
You gotta love Donnie. You get the impression Donnie's going to open any pot from late position, as well you might.
Yeah, he's got the big stack. It's at the time of the tournament where it matters to take down these chips. And he's trying to build his stack up for the final table.
Oh, and it's the shove from G-Kid.
Yeah, Donnie's coming to a roadblock here.
The question is, do you price yourself in against the short stacks with these opening raises? I mean, it's not a cash game and it's not pure maths. Are you erring on the side of saying, well, I haven't quite got the right odds, I'll take a chance, or you got to be disciplined?
It really depends. Like I tend to take the disciplined act, and no matter if I'm getting the best odds in the world, if it's going to take a good portion of my chips, I'd rather save them chips.
Do you think there's any chance at all that Donnie's going to look this up?
I think there's a chance, yeah.
I mean, it's just a matter of what price he's being laid here. And he knows his... I mean, it's easy in a way with the King 5 because you know that your opponent's got, well, at least a pair. Worst case, ace-king for you, I would imagine.
Yeah, you got to feel that one of your cards is at least live.
Yeah.
And the flush draw there, of course.
That's Donnie there in the black top with the white stripes.
Having a good think about it.
I think he's acting like he's having a good think about it, to be honest.
I mean, there must be something in the price here that makes it not too far away from a ridiculous call. Otherwise, you know, he wouldn't be taking this so seriously, Scott.
No, I think it's about 20-ish more. And he opened to about 14, so it's... He is getting a good price, but not against aces.
I'm kind of heartened to see that that Donnie, even though he's pretty active pre-flop, and he'll probably have the highest bet frequency of anyone at this table, that he's not going to roll that over into just making these calls and sticking his money in.
No, he's a good enough player to know when to get away from a hand, I think. Okay, you got it. And as I say that,
right on
he
cue,
throws them into the muck. Love it. He acts as though he just passed jacks.
He really does. The rest of the table are going to wonder what he had. A little bit of gamesmanship there from Donnie.
I'd love to hear what he said he had. If he did, that is.
Well, PKR Live 5 main event creeping ever closer to the money here. They'll be down to 3 tables. That min cash that some of these guys will keep their eyes on, that'll be $800, 20 grand up top.
Well, there's Jackson Genovese, a.k.a. Donnie Jack Mala. He's got another hand here.
I think you mean he's found a hand this time.
He's got a hand this time.
And the challenge for some of these guys who won't be that familiar with Donnie is to separate the times where he can have a wide range with the times when he's definitely going to have a hand.
Exactly, yeah. Although he's relatively aggressive, you know he's going to find a hand here and there, and it's just separating the two, really.
Yeah, and under the gun, I mean, there are limits to his craziness, for sure. And under the gun, and then willing to put big chips in, he's certainly going to have a hand.
Yeah. To be fair, though, the undergun is known as the new button.
Really?
So he's liable to find.
Don't try that at home, kids.
And JJ's shipped in and doesn't look happy that the insta-calls come from Donnie.
Yeah, JJ in the big blind puts his chips in with the ace-jack. Perhaps he's fallen prey a little bit to Donnie's image.
Yeah.
Wow, and from the moment Donnie arrived at this table with a pretty short stack, things have just gone great for him. King 9 flops top 2 and doubles up.
Yeah, just needs to fade the jack here.
Safe enough flop for him. He's got the only spade in play.
Well, we're going to see Donnie leave if a jack comes on the river. If not, it's a crippling blow for JJ Bird.
Yeah, it can't be the jack of spades either.
And there it is. Donnie doubles up again. And, wow, he's going to be pleased with his chip stack. And we expect him to go far in this competition.
Yeah, he's sitting quite pretty now after doubling off the chip leader at the table, JJ.
Yeah, a mighty haul for the Italian.
I love the fact JJ thinks he might still be alive.
Oh, I love it. That was classic.
You
could tell the tone in his voice wasn't the greatest.
He'll be pleased to still be there, and you know, I wouldn't put it past him to make it to this final table.
Just need a chip and a chair, don't you?
A lifetime to master, but a minute to learn.
And we'll leave it to the dealer to sort it all out.
Fella, what can I say? You are the bubble. It's where no one else wants to be.
Yeah. Really bad luck, but that's how it goes, you know.
Yeah. I saw you shove in there, and I thought you had you weren't really chipped up. I thought you might have ace-jack, but ace-king, that's a monster.
Yeah, I was really patient, you know, just waiting to get through this and then start pushing with, you know, lesser hands and what have you, but
we all play poker. We know it's a brutal game and it can sometimes be very disheartening. Tell me exactly how you're feeling now. Can you put it into words?
No, pretty good. Well, I'm actually really tired. It's been a really tiring day. Brilliant day, but you know, yeah, gutted. Yeah.
It's bloody annoying not to reach the last 20 and get paid.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Don't rub it in, you know.
I am gonna rub it in.
Yeah, I know you are. let me go.
I mean, obviously, listen. You got outdrawn there, but it's like you didn't do anything wrong. Are you going to sleep tonight and feel all right about it in the morning?
Yeah, I've got the. I've now got to buy in for the 150, haven't I, for the shootout? So give it another go. So
our bubble boy JJ Cooler walks into the distance. He's a sad man, but there's 20 very, very happy people here today, and we're going to catch up with some action later on to see who takes this thing down.